Hey everybody, welcome back to the SteelWarrior's Shogun 2 Battle Replay Guide, mainly, again, addressing cheese issues and tactical problems that are commonly posted on the forums, as well as, obviously, observed in battle. Today, I'm going to address Naginita Warrior Monk spam. Naginita Warrior Monks are among 3 or 4 units that are considered ridiculously overpowered. I'm just going to use this video as an example of how a balanced fighting force actually handles it quite well. Because Naginita units in general are jack-of-all-trade units. They spam really well, however, they are not invincible. Again, this video is not to prove that I'm good or he's bad or he's good and I'm bad, whatever the hell you want to look at it as. This is just a typical player using a typical, what I consider, bad army. And how just a well-played, well-positioned army can take it on. This one gets a little messy. Not my best game in the form of tactical management. As you can see, I'm marching my cannon fodder unit out front to get fucking raped, and I'm not even in range to shoot back. But anyways, overview of my units: 2 bull monk units, cannon fodder unit, a couple of my legendary swords, my 2 great guard, my general's bodyguards, hidden Yari calvary, my handy dandy Yari defense team, and again my Warcry Shatter swords with the Dachi and Warrior Monk. So essentially, what ends up going horribly wrong for me is the shrine's in the way, so when I attempt to flush my army up against his, it doesn't work. As you can also see, mine's a little bit more condensed in layers, which I believe is a stronger fighting force. However, because of this, it kind of gets a little buggered up and he flanks me in some bad spots. So basically, my archers are being idiots, and so are these guys. But if you'll notice, he shot at them several times from multiple of those units, and I've lost very little of them realistically. So, really good cannon fodder for my other units, because Nag Sams have really high armor. I find they're good for that. So here's where it gets a little fricked up, because I should have transferred this unit off, because you can see usually this unit would be over here and it would flow nicer. However, anyways, I end up pulling it off anyways, except for I get clipped, unfortunately, and there we go. Now I'm wasting units on 1.5 units. He's going to attempt to get my great guard. I'm going to pull him back. At this point, I see him shuffling some of his cavalry to the side. That'll happen in a second, actually, sorry. And what I'll end up doing is putting my Yari over here to cover my ass. These Yari I've decided to pull out. I find a 22k match doesn't really gain a lot by having hidden units. But essentially what's happening, or going to happen, is I'm going to get a whole bunch of war cries across my entire front line. However, I haven't committed everything that I have. This unit that got broke free, again, having the second layer of infantry is always a good idea, so I'm going to pop Bonsai and take care of that. At this point, I'm moving in my warrior monks to Warcry, and if you notice, I had them far enough back that these 2 units didn't get nailed. So, unlike my other Nag Samurai video, he does get some wrapping around on me. That's not good. As you can see, I'm taking some morale losses. But in the meantime, he's going to commit his cavalry into mine. This unit, I should have still been able to attack and pull off. However, I got distracted elsewhere. This unit ends up actually causing quite a bit of damage to me. Again, not my best micro game, but again, still, nonetheless. What ends up happening is I end up using my bow units to pick off his general. I'm a dick, I know. Another common issue people have, and I will have a video on how to deal with that too. He's basically trying to do the same thing, get me out of the stand and fight, because that will give me the advantage. His guy was bow spec, I believe, so it's still kind of voiced. I still think leadership's the best. So anyways, I end up destroying most of his cavalry. As you can see, I'm trying to pull out, but it's just not happening. But luckily, most of his cavalry is gone as well. As you can see, it kind of looks like I get screwed here for a couple seconds, but this is basically what a Naginita Warrior Monk army does. It's very aggressive, but when you start to countercharge it, because it has such low armor and such relatively low defense factor, essentially you just gotta wait until the war cries wear off, you get your morale back, and then when you make your counter push, that tends to open up. Now, by throwing this Nodachi over here with these 2 sword units, I was fighting those 2 nags. I came around the side. I have freed up 3 units of mine to flank him with a Nag Warrior Monk spam. It's a really good idea to, again, stack one side and swing inwards. This one was unintentional, but again, a very aggressive sword unit does take them out quite nicely. At this point, These units are up in the middle of nowhere. I still really do prefer taking just some straight units of Yari Samurai. I do really think they're good. This one I didn't get the chance to use them quite as well because Calvary ran into my Great Guards and they got owned like most games. And if I'd pulled out, I would have been able to come behind, pick off the bow units, and charge the back, and that would have been the end of it. But here is ultimately the advantage of taking a balanced army. The units mesh so much better together. That wasn't even English, but they work together so much better, and as long as you can outlast the initial barrage of it, you'll always end up pulling through. The high attack value of katana swords will easily win in the long run. All you gotta do is be able to survive the initial morale hit. When they pop war cry, don't hit rally right away. Give it a couple seconds. Watch your units really closely and hit rally to counter it. If they're vets at all, they won't rout while rally's up. So use it on the tail end of war cry when your units look like they're gonna start failing, and you should be okay. So not my best example of taking them out. I've had better games where it just works better, but again, just another example that a balanced army does win out even when the player fucks up his micromanagement really bad. So anyways, try not to flame me too hard about it. That's my Naginita Monk video for the first attempt at it. I will have other examples as soon as I run into that kind of army again. So thanks for watching. Sorry for my somewhat mediocre gameplay. Have a good night, guys.